Hola, Wine Chisme familia. We've got some exciting news to share. The Wine Chisme now has a voicemail line. That's right, you can literally call us, leave your thoughts, questions, or even suggest topics you want us to dive into on future episodes. Whether you want to share how an episode resonated with you, or ask about previous wines we've featured, or even tell us about your own chisme, we want to hear your voice. Porque este podcast has always been about connection, and now we can make that connection even more real. So grab your phone and call us at 858-304-0266. Leave us a message, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and whatever's on your heart. Who knows? Your voice might be featured on an upcoming episode. Because at the end of the day, Wine and Chisme is about all of us coming together, sharing our stories, and celebrating our community. Now, be a part of the podcast in a whole new way. Again, that number is 858-304-0266. We want to hear from you. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of the Wine and Chisme Podcast. It is our first Chisme Roundup for season 6. Yay! So I got my girl Erika here with me as always for our
Hola.
Chisme. How are you, Erika?
I'm good. I shouldn't complain. These allergies are back in full force, but
Oh my gosh,
whatever. We'll be all right.
yesterday I know it's that season because yesterday I was sneezing like crazy. Even my husband was just like, "Babe, you're like extra sneezy today. What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh no," but yes, it's just that time. We're recording this on the first official day of fall. So happy fall, my friend. Oh, you're not gonna say nothing?
Like, is it a happy fall? I
Okay,
guess so. I'm
allergies are
looking,
really getting to you.
let me tell you, I'm looking out the window and it's like all like dark and gray and gloomy. And I'm just like, I love fall. It's my happy time, but I know what's after fall.
Yeah. Well, here, like it started raining yesterday. We were at Antonio's baseball game and it started raining where our pit bull does not like the rain to be in the rain at all. And so he starts getting really agitated. So I had to take him to the car and then it stopped, but I didn't want to go back and forth. And it rained through the night. This morning it was raining, and now it's just like this weird overcast. The sun's trying to come through, but it hasn't fully come through.
Hmm.
So, well, I'm not gonna complain. I'm here in San Diego.
I know it's cold.
And
It's cold
yeah,
already.
for us, it's like humid. We've been getting this like hot and humid weather, so it's been really sticky for us where it normally is. It's just been gross. But before we get into what's happened not only over the summer, but this last month, we always start with the wine. Now, I know that you're not feeling good, so you're not drinking wine today,
No.
but tell us what you wanted to drink.
So what I wanted to drink was this lovely Pinotage from Oak Mountain Winery.
So, Oak Mountain Winery is a Latino owned winery in Temecula Valley in Temecula,
Mm-hmm.
California. And Johnny, the owner, was so amazing to be able to be one of our sponsors last year for our San Diego and New York events. We didn't do any event. I mean, just okay. Let me before we get into that of not doing any events this
Right.
year.
What are you drinking?
So oftentimes, my husband is so sweet and he tells people about what I do and how much I love wine and the podcast and everything. That sometimes his clients, his customers, give him bottles of wine. So this is one that they gave him. It is a Paloma Merlot
Oh,
out of Napa Valley. It's a 2012.
okay.
And this one, it was limited production, and I don't know, I haven't looked up Paloma Vineyard, but it is really good. We've already had some, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to continue to have some. So, salud, my friends.
Salud, salud.
You with your tea or your water or whatever you got over there. Mm. When you initially
I'm kind
smelled
of
it,
jealous.
it is.
I'm kind of jealous, girl.
It's good, girl. Be jealous. Be jealous. All right. Girl, there is just okay. So let's just put it out there for our gente. Um, we're gonna start off with the heavier stuff at the beginning because we want the rest of the light stuff, the fun stuff. That's really where we want to focus on. But
Yes,
with
agree.
everything happening in this world and in our nation and everything that's going on, it's really important that we, you know, share. I mean, I don't know who doesn't know what's going on, but I know there's a lot of people just who like even me, normally I'm a total addict, total news addict. And I do still watch it, but I have to limit myself because of everything that's going on. So, um, let's just kick it off. You ready? Say
Am
something.
I? Am
Don't
I
just give me that Gen Z
ready?
stare, girl. You
Yeah,
are
I'm ready.
not
I'm ready.
Gen
Let's do it. Let's
Z.
do it. Let's get into it.
All right. So obviously, let's just talk about everything that in regards to summertime. We knew that these things were ramping up. And even more so over the summertime, a lot of ice raids ramped up. The big bullshit bill was passed, which is going to just do so much harm in regards to like, I don't know if you realize that Ice and now has the largest budget, even more like it has more budget than certain branches of our military now.
That is that is insane to me. Like I I don't even know where to start. Like there's so many things around ice that's just ramping up. It's not there are no signs of like slowing down. Um, and I talk to people um and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm walking around with my passport and I have these documents on me. I don't want to do it, but you just never know, right? Because now, even if you're just casually speaking Spanish in the street, you're a target. Like it's insane, and it's I just like on principle alone, I do not want to walk around these streets with my passport. Like, where do we live? What year are we living in? But I don't know. My mom keeps harassing me. She's like, "Oh, just do it. Just put it in your bag and just walk around with it. You just never know." And I'm like, "But I don't want to live that way."
Well, the other thing in regards to that, and maybe I don't know, but so here's the challenge I think in regards to that is that like there's been several US citizens who have been harassed, who have been taken into custody, who have been whatever, and they take their IDs. So there was an instance of a man, I think, um, and he was saying, I'm a US citizen, I'm a US citizen, and he gave his ID. They finally let him go, but then they kept his ID. So
Mm,
why am I gonna like why would I give you my passport? So I understand like why I don't want to live that way, but also I'm like, you're if you pull me over, because let's be like, and you suspect me of anything, or even like say you suspect me of not being a citizen. First of all, like for people who do not know, like coming to the US undocumented is a civil offense. It's not a criminal offense. And I think that's where a lot of people first get lost in the sauce, right? It's not a
right.
criminal offense, it's civil offense. That you crossing the border does not mean you go to jail. That's not what it's supposed to mean. That's not how it is supposed, and I say supposed to work because obviously what's supposed to happen and what's happening are not the same.
Right.
But um I don't, what if I get pulled over and I say, look, here's my US passport. There have been instances where they've said that you're having forged documents or forged this or forged, and then they're just gonna take it. Like, nah, I'm not good with that. So, um, whatever. So there's just been a lot. in regards to that, and it's been really rough. I think just on our whole community, I think there's a lot of
Mhm.
people think that are standing up for our community. We need to continue to stand up for our community. I will say, like, the Latinos for Trump thing is
Right.
very frustrating because we'll hear oftentimes, and it's just very frustrating because now they're like, I didn't vote for this. Well, what did
You
you vote
did.
for?
Yes,
You
you
know what I mean? Like
did.
he said this from the beginning. So tell me what, you know what I mean? And but
That
this
is like
happened last time. This happened when he was in office the first time where he said, "Oh, it's only going to be the bad ones." And people got deported that were like, "Wait, I thought, did you not
right.
learn your lesson?"
So I think the most frustrating part of the whole like, oh, I didn't vote for that, and but yes, you did. You absolutely did. I don't understand. Like, it wasn't even like um a thing with like critical thinking or like reading between the lines. It was clearly laid out, and you chose to ignore that part because you thought that that vote was going to be proximity to whiteness, that vote was going to be proximity to money, right? So now
Right?
you, because you're greedy, talking about the money, the money, the money, that you're clearly these ideas, this plan is not for you. You are not in that bracket.
Yeah.
So now you want to screw everyone else. Everyone else gets screwed. And now you want to say, oh, I didn't know. Well, yes, you did.
Yes.
You just chose to ignore it. You did not care. And then
Yes, you
people
did.
have
It's not that you didn't know, you chose,
people
like,
have a hard
exactly, you
time
chose to ignore it.
admitting that they were selfish because they see themselves and they're like, oh, okay, now I'm this person. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to admit that I was being selfish. But
Girl.
it's too late now.
No, it is. And now we have to deal with the aftermath. And so, for anybody who's listening, look, here's the thing. We know that over the last decade, the political violence has just, oh my gosh, just escalated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, we know what happened with Charlie Kirk. I
Right.
accidentally saw the video, somebody posted it, and I accidentally saw it because I was like, wait, what? I wasn't sure, like, if they were doing it up to and then stopping it. No, I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it was very disturbing. But my first thought when that happened was, I don't think anybody deserves to go out like that. Right.
Right. Right.
But my first thought was shock. But then my second
Mm-hmm.
thought was, we're seeing this for him, but imagine the kids that this has happened to,
Right.
university students, the workplace people. Like, this has happened to so many people. And it wasn't just because it wasn't filmed, does not make it any less horrific. And so it just, that's honestly like where my thought process went. Because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, of course, everybody's, he was, you know, somebody who knew the president and who was very involved in the, like, well, he was not a politician himself, but he was very
Right.
involved in right-wing politics and everything. And then you see, like, where was this outpouring when the um Minnesota congresswoman and
Right.
her husband and their dog were
Right.
shot?
It wasn't there. It
Where
wasn't
was it when these children are being terrorized in their schools? Where is it? What, like, it's always, um when it comes from one side, and this is what really is so frustrating, when it's become so left versus right, that,
there. Right.
oh well. And when that happened to that Minnesota, Minnesota, I think she was a state congresswoman, and I want to
I
make
I
and
forget what it is.
yeah, I want to make sure that we have it correct. State rep Melissa Hortman. That's who it was. Because I want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure we say her name. We don't just say she was a Minnesota state representative and former Speaker of the House who was assassinated in her home in June of 2025.
Right.
Okay. So it was her, Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, and their dog. and they were shot by a gunman impersonating law enforcement, right?
That's
So
terrifying.
terrifying. And and this is somebody who served, right? Who was in politics, who served, um who when that happened, the Cheeto in charge didn't say anything. He said he wasn't going to call
Mm-mm.
the governor, Tim Walz. He didn't do like the flags at half mast, nothing. But Charlie Kirk gets all this. So let me just, in case, I don't know. Look, you guys know where we stand, but I just want to share some of the things because I think this is what do I celebrate his death? Absolutely not. Do I mourn him? Absolutely not. I don't
Right.
I don't mourn him. I'm not gonna lie, but I think he deserved that? No. And I do I think he deserved to go out like that? No, but I don't believe that Melissa Hartman or nor her husband deserved to go out like that. I don't believe Gabby Gifford deserved to be shot like that. She survived. I don't think those kids in these schools or
Mm-hmm.
students at
Mm-hmm.
universities or people that are just trying to live there, I don't think they deserve that either. So let me just share some of the things on. So when it comes to race, he literally said this: if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified, because in his eyes, he was only hired because of DEI. If you're let's see, um he said this in May 19th, 2023, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. Uh, no. If I'm dealing, let's just, okay. If I would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. Now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Oh
You
my
had
God.
to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat serious to be taken somewhat seriously. He's saying this about the first lady. He is saying this about Joy Reid, who he is saying this about Sheila Jackson Lee, and he's saying this about Supreme Court Justice
Right.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. Okay. This is just a few things, right?
Mm.
Um Oh, and we'll get into this later, but he did have something in regards to the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey engagement, and he said, um, he told her to reject feminism, submit to your husband, Taylor.
Oh,
You're not in charge.
which
Yes,
is insane because I didn't. What was it that what happened with Taylor Swift and like getting her the masters and like re-releasing like this
yeah,
is this whole like empowering moment and he's just like it's like a pat on the head like
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And then he said, we need to have a Nuremberg style trial for every gender affirming clinic doctor. We need it immediately.
Oh my
And that's
God.
basically calling for their death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's basically saying. Now, when it comes to gun violence, that quote, and this is from April 5th of 2023. I think it's worth it to have a cost of, I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have our Second Amendment to protect our other God given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
It's and like I don't want to get into like gun policy and all of this stuff like right now in this episode
Yeah.
but it's like people also kind of forget what the point of the Second Amendment was. Like it was to protect yourself against the government, basically. So it doesn't. This just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
It just does not
Yes.
make sense.
And let me tell you, my husband's already said, because of what everything's going on, he's like, I want you need to learn how to use a gun. He wants me to learn how to use a gun because God forbid anything happens or whatever.
Mm,
Um, and we don't have a gun in our house. I don't know if that will change once we have a house, where, but it would
mhm.
definitely be like locked up, safe. Like I can't, otherwise I wouldn't feel safe. Um, we'll come to that bridge when we'll cross
Right.
that bridge when
Pro-
we come to it.
When we
I
get
don't
there.
know what's going to happen, but I think that it's important to learn how to use a gun and how to, because you just never know. What if I end up in like, a horror movie type of situation and I don't know what to do? Right? So
Like those survivalist
I gotta
skills that I
be, I
lack.
gotta know, I gotta know. I think uh we'll just leave that there. That's happened. That's whatever. There's still a lot of conversation
Hmm.
going around in regards to it. But I think whether you and I was thinking about this when I was walking today. I want to look up stats and everything, and I didn't have time before this of like what percentage of voters are one issue voters, because I think
Mm.
one issue voters are
That's
really
a large
endangering our,
percentage. I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but
yeah. And well, on the other side, right, on the left, there's such this purity politics, right? Well, if you don't agree with me on this, I'm not going to vote down with you. Like, and
hmm,
you can't have, like, there's never like there's so many people looking for the quote unquote perfect candidate.
right. That doesn't exist.
No,
Doesn't exist.
no. You have to look at what are all of the things. Like, you might have a, like, just like when you're dating, right? You might have a hard line of, this is a non-negotiable for me. If you
Right.
don't believe in this, then I can't believe in anything else for you, right? But you have to have more than one thing. And I think being like
Hmm.
having so many one issue voters is really deteriorating our democracy, because then they're like, we get those, well, that's not what I voted for. Well, yeah, yeah, it is, because you didn't pay attention to anything else. You
Right.
only paid attention to the one thing that you wanted and didn't think of anything else. And now
Yeah.
that one thing has blown up in your face.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's just move on.
And
Yeah,
as well,
well, yeah, let's just move on. Let's just move
well,
on.
I did also think it was important, but for us to just kind of touch on that whole Jimmy Kimmel
Yes,
being
actually, I was
canceled.
gonna go. Yeah, I wrote. Yeah.
Just because I was having a conversation with my friend last week. She's a journalist, and we were talking. It's like it's so easy to get shut down, to get canceled. We have the rise of this like independent journalists coming up. Given the circumstances with just technology and the way employment is, and just the ability to report on the news in a
Right.
different way that's not tied to like the big corporations, right? But I mean, how fast can an independent journalist be shut down, right? Podcasters are independent journalists. How long before like these platforms are silenced or people are shut down? Like it's a slippery slope, and it's like something that you have to pay attention to. And I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Well, we know obviously Stephen Colbert got this is his last year, because they gave in to this administration.
hmm.
Now, I don't know if did you watch what Jimmy Kimmel actually said? It wasn't even,
It
um,
was criticism on Trump,
yeah, but
basically.
it was more of like, and he even like said, I'm sending my prayers to Charlie Cook's family. This shouldn't happen, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he said, okay, this is the only thing and I'm going to sum it up, is he's supposed to be a good friend of President Trump. And when he was
Mm-hmm.
asked, he showed a clip of President Trump talking
Yep.
about everything else but Charlie Kirk. like
Right.
totally
Right.
just like glazed over it and started talking about oh this and oh that and blah blah blah. And he's like,
He
oh
was talking about the freaking construction of
yeah,
the was it a stupid ballroom? Which I
yeah,
think
they've
is a
been
waste
trying
of
to do
money,
this for
but whatever.
250 years and now we're gonna
I think it's a waste of money. This country is in crisis. We don't need another ballroom, sir.
yeah. So and then the SEC chairman, who obviously is a Trump loyalist, because this is what happened this time around. Last time
Mm-hmm.
he had people who knew things. Now maybe you didn't agree with them, and but when he was going too far they would try and tell him to stop. Not everybody, but now we have a lot of truly unqualified people who all
Right.
they're just loyalists to him. And he has even said, girl, this man even posted on his social about he wants to take away the citizenship of Rosie O'Donnell, somebody who was born here. Like, seriously? So where does that leave us? Like, if he wants to do that with somebody like her, what does he want to do with somebody like us?
Mm-hmm.
People don't see it. Laura
No.
Loomer, who is, girl, this woman looks, yes, it's easy to go for her looks because this girl looks like, I don't even know, right? It's hard to say. But apparently she has gotten close to Trump and whatever. And she had posted on X that they need to get rid of all 65 million of it. And now 65 million is not the amount of undocumented immigrants in this country. 65 million
Mm.
is closer to the total number of Latinos in this
Right.
country. Um
I have
so
a moment. I was about to say, what is X?
yeah, X, Twitter, X, you know. So, okay, wine break. Time to refill that glass and come back for more Wine and Chisme. Hola, Wine and Chisme familia. If you're loving this conversation, don't let it end here. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Wine and Chisme for behind the scenes moments, wine recommendations, and daily doses of chisme between episodes. And if you don't already know, we bring these conversations to YouTube as well. Subscribe to our channel so you can see the full experience, the laugh, the tears, the wine pours, and those moments when the chisme gets real. Plus, don't miss out on our bi-weekly Spill the Chisme newsletter. Get exclusive content, wine picks, and all the chisme delivered straight to your inbox. Head to the Podcast.com to subscribe or just DM me the newspaper emoji on Instagram and I'll hook you up. Your support helps us amplify more voices and share more stories that matter. Now, let's get back to this conversation because it's about to get even better. Okay, so Bad Bunny, we had talked about his residency prior to it starting back in June.
Mm-hmm.
He had his residency. Um and girl, I you just see all these people in regards to I saw so many people that I knew that attended. Do you know that
Tell
attended?
everyone that I know. As hard as I tried, I was like, I just can't. I cannot torture myself this summer and just seeing people's footage and I was like, I can't do it. But I couldn't help it. It was everywhere. Everywhere. I was like, well, I can't turn on my phone. I can't even like turn on anything without having a mention of the residency. Like this was so huge. And like I wanna I want since we're like, in communications, I feel like we should touch a little bit on like the whole marketing of it. Like I think that the whole campaign, right, for lack of a better word,
Yeah,
it's like a master class. It is a master class in authenticity, in storytelling, in partnerships and who you align with, right?
totally.
They if you stay authentic and true to your message, the right brands are going to align with you no matter what.
Yes. Okay, but I want to have a question. I have a question for you because
Mm-hmm.
last season we talked a lot about the relationship between him and Kendall Jenner. right? We
Yes.
touched upon that.
Yes,
And
we
there was
did.
a lot of disappointed people. Like
Mm-hmm.
this girl, her and her family are culture vultures. They,
Right.
like, we had even talked about, she's like, we couldn't see if she was really dating him or dating him because he's the hot man of the
Right.
moment.
Right.
And they had since broken up and whatever. And it's almost like, and look, and it's almost like he went extra hard into his culture
Mm-hmm.
after
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, which I love.
Right.
So, what do we think now? Do we think it was a PR stunt? Was it a PR relationship? Do you think that they really liked each other?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or do you feel like he may, like, I almost feel like I feel like it was mostly a PR relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
then because the momager Chris, right? That
Right.
woman can talk
Mm-hmm.
anybody into anything. So okay, this is just my opinion. I don't know anything. I don't know any of these people in real life. And then you tell me what your opinion is.
Okay.
My thought process is she was like, went to his management and was like, this is such an amazing way to cross promote. He gets to like get into the Kardashian like fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that some of them know them, maybe some of them don't, or they know who he is but not familiar with his music. But by
Mm-hmm.
dating my daughter, they're going to get exposure and they're going to want to check out his music. And then I don't know what she told them, but to them, to in her mind, that makes them relevant again, because I
Right.
feel like they've continually each year start losing more relevancy because people are just so sick of the
Mm-hmm.
saturation of this family and them being everywhere and flaunting all of their
Right.
quote unquote fabulousness all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so maybe he was talked into it and like, all right, well, maybe I'll like this girl. I'll meet her. Maybe I'll like her. Maybe they did
Mm-hmm.
have kind of a friendship, or they have to have something, right? Maybe
Right.
they were like, okay, cool, whatever. And once his audience started very heavily vocalizing and critiquing and
Mm-hmm.
criticizing this quote unquote relationship, then maybe he was like, oh shit, this is not what my fans would want. This is not, you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
who knows what. And then once that fully ended, then he's like, fuck this shit. I'm going all in because I'm not letting my culture get, you know,
Mm-hmm.
screwed over again. I'm not. So that's I don't know. I don't know. I might be thinking too much about it, but I can see that. What do you think?
I feel in my heart of hearts that it was. I don't think it was so much as like a PR stunt on his side, because I feel like what him and his team had been building, like I cannot see why, from like just the work standpoint, from like a calm standpoint, I can't see the benefit of his team like agreeing to this or pushing for
See,
it at
that's
that
where
point.
I agree. And
So
that's
that's
where
why I
I
was like,
get like,
I don't think
oh,
on his side it was. I think on his side it was just like, whatever, vamos a meter mano,
I could see him just
whatever.
being like, all right,
We're
I'll
gonna
see if I
have
like
some
her.
fun and see where it goes, right? But on the other side, I think that definitely was a strategic PR move, especially
Absolutely.
with her 818 tequila that I never tried, and I hear it's pretty
It's
terrible.
terrible. It's terrible. It's
Um,
horrible.
so I see that on that side, on her side of it. It was maybe a publicity strategic move, but on his side, I think he was just like, "Fuck it,
Well, let me
let's
tell
aquí
you how
vamos a gozar
stupid
todo el
she
mundo,"
is.
right? And then I think it got away from him.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think it got
Okay. I
away
could
from
see
him,
that.
and
I
then he
could
was
see
just like,
that.
"Oh fudge."
Maybe I shouldn't have dipped
What
my
is going
toe
on
in
here?
this.
I don't necessarily think I was thinking with the right head. So now we have to kind of backtrack and like, all right, how are we gonna fix this? For
True.
me, that's what I think happened.
Okay. No,
Something
I could see that.
in that vein.
Yeah, I could see that. And if she wanted to promote her 818 tequila, dummy should have gone out with a Mexican dude. Like, and had him, like,
But the number one artist
True.
is
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
Bunny.
I mean, it was amazing seeing all of these
Yes, they
clips
have to latch
and
on to the number one, girl. Number two
yeah,
and three
that's
is not
true.
enough. It has to be number one.
It's true. I don't know, but let me share some of the things that he has said in regards to his the reason for his decision, and we kind of touched on this, but these are now like
Mm-hmm.
he's straight out said. And this just goes to show how things can still be done, right? And keeping your
Mm-hmm.
community in mind. He said there's a fear of ICE raids. He expresses concern that the presence of ICE agents could lead to the detention of concert goers, particularly Latinos, Puerto Ricans, right? He
Mm-hmm.
has over the summer he criticized and actually caught on video an ICE raid. Do you remember that? Over the
No, I
summer,
don't.
he actually, yeah, he posted it. He was watching somebody and he was, saying stuff. And so he calls for federal agents to leave the local communities. The promotion of the Puerto Rican culture. The tour aims to promote Puerto Rican culture and amplify the voices of marginalized people, a mission that Bad Bunny believes would be undermined by the potential for ICE activity at US shows. So um, he did a 30 show residency that just ended in Puerto Rico.
Yep,
And then
yep.
he's going to travel to Latin America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania starting in November of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk about somebody like, there's all of these boycotts and everything happening. We still have not been to Target. Um, we don't have Disney Plus or Hulu anymore
I was
because
gonna ask you that. I haven't canceled. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't canceled it yet. I thought I've talked about it. I actually had a conversation with Gio, my nephew,
uh-huh,
about
love
it.
Geo.
We were like, like,
I
oh, I don't know.
know. Okay, so here's the difference. We were talking, let me just kind of go back. So we're talking about cancel culture. So there's a difference between cancel culture and censorship.
Right.
Cancel culture is done by the people, right? That means we, as the people, have decided we're not going to Target, we're not spending our money here, we're not spending our money there, blah, blah, blah. Censorship is what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. Censorship
Right.
is the government, the corporations have decided, not based on what we, the people, as a collective, based on a small group of people, and particularly what this administration have decided to so he's not quote unquote canceled yet, but he's indefinitely suspended.
Right.
So we don't know what's going to come of that, but I do know that when we're okay with our free speech being censored, right? Being canceled is one thing. If somebody listens to this podcast and doesn't agree with it, takes a clip and shares it, and everybody's like, "We're never listening to this." The people have
Mm-hmm.
spoken, right? I know people, then I've been quote unquote canceled.
Right.
I haven't been censored because I can still say the things, but
Right.
maybe nobody's listening or nobody's paying me, right? Well, nobody's paying me right now, but but so that's different than being censored, right? Censored meaning the government's pulling books, the government's pulling citizenship because they're you're saying something they don't like. They're pulling
Mm-hmm.
people off air because they're saying things that they don't like. That's when it crosses the line. So um the fact that that is happening should not give anybody comfort. I don't care what side
Mm-hmm.
you're on, because so hard when the left does it, people rail, oh, they can't do this. When the right does it,
Right.
why are you okay with it? Because do you not think that it's just going to progress? Or if then one side's gonna be like, well, they did it, we can do it, blah blah. Like, that's not what we want. So you have to think critically. You have to think beyond this immediate moment of what these decisions mean. Um, so okay, let's go on to something else fun. So, okay, before we get into like the main things, obviously, unless you are under a rock, you know that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey got engaged. She came on the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey and announced her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, that's going to be coming out sometime in October. I don't know the exact dates. I mean, I listen to her music, but honestly, I don't really have like any specific, like I don't have her any of her albums downloaded or anything
Right.
like that.
I'm not a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swifty. I think that she's really smart. I think that
Mm-hmm.
she's I think as a businesswoman, like amazing. That's awesome.
Right.
Uh I don't I do like some of her songs. I can't
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not this Easter egg person or anything. I listen to some of her songs when it comes on. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I like it, whatever. Um, so that is coming. That is something that I'm sure we're once it gets closer to. And actually, I think I think in September this month it'll happen. I think after this post, Selena Gomez is getting married to Benny Blanco.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's September 29th, something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah. So she's getting
Nice.
married.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, girl. Oh, some info I'm sharing with you. Some chisme you don't know.
You learn something new every day.
Doo, doo, doo. The more you
The more
know.
you know.
All right. We did that, whatever. Now it's time to get to the meat of our stuff, right? Like we had the meat in the front, like the set. We have the nice juicy burger in like the bun and now we are in the middle of Latina Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
But for us, we live Latina Hispanic heritage every day, right? This is not
Yes.
just a month for us. And I'm sure it's not just a month for most of the people who watch or listen. But it is still very important to talk about, to celebrate, to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
However, with this new administration, we're noticing that there's not much being celebrated in our community right now.
No.
Unless we're in our community, right? Unless you're within the community, the things that you would normally say. So you're the one who like brought like, I know you had this on there, so I'm gonna let you take the lead on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted to do like a kind of temperature check on Latina Hispanic Heritage Month. Just from like a comms perspective, right? Because I feel like communications is one of those fields where you're on 24/7. It's hard to turn it off, right?
Yeah.
Especially when something like this, it's happening, is being celebrated. It is important, but I feel like, and this is not only me, these are conversations that I've had over the past few years where it's just so exhausting. It's exhausting work because you're trying to cram everything in to 1 month, right? And it's not possible. I off the top of my head, I'm not too sure, but how many Latino Hispanic countries are there? I don't know exactly what the number is.
I
But we're
want to
trying to fit all of
say,
this into 1 month,
yeah. I mean, and the same with Black History
and
Month,
with the shortest month,
AAPI
the
month, the
shortest month
shortest
of
month.
the year, and it's I recognize the importance of these awareness months, but I feel like it's just we try to cram all of it into 1 month, and there needs to be a way that the conversation is being had month after month, that things are being celebrated beyond that month, right? And
Yeah.
again, like you said, it's not just with Latina Hispanic Heritage Month, it's with Black History Month, it's with Pride Month, right? It's just everything, and it just I feel like the past few years I haven't been able to enjoy myself or like fully immerse myself in it because I feel so drained from it. Because come every like summer, it's like
Yeah.
pushing a rock up the hill to get it over, up and over, and September 15th comes and the rock goes down, and then October 15th comes and like we're back down
Yeah.
in
Let
the
me
bottom
tell
of the
you,
ditch.
when I'm looking at companies and when I'm looking at things, I look at those places. Like for example, when like I'm looking for places that integrate us, our communities naturally and not
Right,
just during Latin and Hispanic Heritage
right.
Month,
Well, I feel like
right?
that's the key, right? It's finding that natural rhythm because there are a lot of things to celebrate. There are a lot of things to be aware of, right? And there are only 12 months in the year. I get it. But if you're a brand, if you're a company that is always in tune with what's going on, um, highlighting different communities, it doesn't have to be every single month, every single day, right? But it has to be in a natural flow beyond this awareness month,
Yeah.
right?
Well, like something again, okay, I'm going to throw it out for me too in regards to like podcasts are continuing to grow. Podcasts are, especially in the Latino community, are growing at a rapid rate in as far as listenership and downloads and stuff. And I've said this before, but it's just continuing to get more and more frustrating when you always see the same during Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month. You see the same podcasts on every single highlighting Latino podcast to
Mm-hmm.
listen to. And it's the exact same ones that have been, and some that are no longer going, that some that are, and you're just like,
Right.
really? Like, come on. There's so many of us that have amazing guests, have amazing perspectives. And of course, I want to throw my name out there, but outside of myself, there's so many others, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're Latinos, I think probably more than any other demographic in regards to brand loyalty is like off the charts,
Oh,
right?
parts.
So
It
why are
is.
these brands not going into like our, coming into our spaces saying, "Hey, we want to place ads here. We want to do this."
Mm-hmm.
I will say I had Coca-Cola, and I know a lot of stuff's had Coca-Cola a couple years ago. I think in 2021, maybe. I think they were 2021 or 2022, they were a sponsor. And it was only during the holidays. And I wrote my script out very honestly because I don't drink soda. But during the holidays, with specific things, I will drink Coca Cola, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote my script with that in mind. Like they let us write our own scripts. They had to approve it. And I literally said, I don't drink soda very often, but the holidays kind of changes everything and blah, blah, blah. And I drink Coke
Right.
and I drink it with, pozole or menudo or tamales or whatever, because it just hits different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they approved it because that was natural for me. And they know
Right.
what a chokehold they have on our community,
They sure do. They
right?
sure do.
But the fact that they knew that, they knew, and again, we can talk about the other stuff that we don't have to. I'm just talking at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
They knew, and they were like, you know what? We know our community. We know who's listening to this podcast, and we know that this is truthful. And this probably could be truthful for a lot of people. They may not
Right.
drink soda very often, but what they wanted in their head is that imagery of family and holidays and Coke,
Yeah.
right? So duh. Um, so it's just really frustrating sometimes when every time I see podcast clips come up or anything, whether it's social media, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's rarely Latino podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
rarely Black podcasts, it's always white centered podcasts. And when you look on Top Cop podcast, that's what you always see.
Yeah.
And, there is a way, again, kind of going back to knowing your customer, knowing what the new things are, and also diversifying where you're placing those media buys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not DEI, that's smart business.
It's smart business. But I feel like another thing too is a lot of brands kind of get comfortable with their loyal customers, right? But I think it's a disservice when you're not paying attention to your loyal customers. It's like when you're in a relationship, right? And you kind of just get comfortable in your relationship and you stop paying attention to your significant other. A breakup is down the road. You can see it.
If your
Here
woman,
it comes.
let me just say,
The
if your
breakup.
woman is indifferent to what you're doing, you've already lost her. If she says, I don't care, do what you want, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If she starts not caring, that woman is already out.
Yep.
So just a handy tip for you men out there who think, oh, I don't need to do anything. I'm married or I'm in a long-term relationship or
Yep.
whatever. You don't pay attention to your wife. You don't take her
Mm-hmm.
out on a date at least. I mean, what they say it's supposed to be once a week. Maybe now my husband's like out of his HVAC bubble. So maybe we can start doing our once a week things again. But even once a month, damn, treat your
Right.
woman like she's the most important thing to you, because the minute she said, if you say, hey, I'm gonna go out with my boys, if there's one thing saying, okay, yeah, go have a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you start doing that more and more, say you're like 3 times a week going out with your boys, and every single time, then it becomes, well, when are we gonna go out? Why are we
Mm-hmm.
like, if she start, and this is what men don't get. We ask, hey, when are we gonna do this? Hey, why aren't we intimate anymore? Hey, this, hey, like trying. Maybe they don't even say it, they just do, right? Like maybe your woman's
Yeah.
trying to come on to you and you're not doing anything, you're not reciprocating. Maybe your woman is saying, hey, I really would like to go here, but then you decide to go with your boys. And then she starts saying, okay, fine, sure, I don't care. Sure, yeah, whatever, yeah. And stops asking for any of those things. The
Mm-hmm.
woman has checked out. You
Yep.
lost her.
Good luck trying to get her back too.
Yeah, because once she makes up her mind, that's it. Sorry, bye.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but it's the kind of the same thing, right? It's the
And
same
then
thing with
going
brands.
back to that
Going back to
analogy,
it.
right? There's so many brands out there. There's so many men out there, you know?
Look, I will find another brand if I need to. If I feel, if you're not,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even like, again, and this whole administration and the whole right, like so many people don't even understand what DEI is, that they're like, oh, don't advertise to this community. That's DEI. You're stupid. That's not what. Just Google it. If you don't know what DEI is, I just Google it, please, because I don't have the patience. And I'm gonna just say, I believe my audience knows what DEI really is. I believe my audience
Mm-hmm.
is, I actually feel like our audience is a very smart audience.
Yes.
Um, so I don't have to explain it, but sometimes, like, I just feel like sometimes people want to hear, like, they get frustrated and you're like, I'm not the only one. You're not the only one who gets frustrated about these stupid people not knowing what DEI is. Make it everything DEI, everything's woke. You don't know what woke is. You don't know.
Right.
You know what woke is. If
Right.
you think everything's woke, you don't know what woke is.
Right. Oh.
Okay, let's move on to the VMAs and Emmy Awards. So I didn't watch the VMAs, but I did watch the Emmys.
So in a previous monthly recap, we touched on the topic of like not being excited about awards shows and like different things, and
Yeah.
I'm still not that excited about awards shows, but I feel like social media has also played a part in it because I'm just like, I can catch the highlights
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok the next morning.
Yeah.
Um, and and also there's nothing like exciting about having to catch it live, right? I was thinking about this morning, how for the live stream of the Bad Bunny show,
I didn't watch it. I
I
missed
didn't watch it.
it.
I fully planned to, but I my plans changed, and then I caught like the last half hour of it. But I was like, you know what? They're gonna show it again, and I could just watch the whole thing tomorrow. But as I was watching the end of it, I was just like, no, like I missed my
Wait, I looked
opportunity.
for it because I wanted to watch it before and I couldn't find it on Amazon because it was live streamed off of Amazon.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be on for the day on Amazon. I could be
Well, if
wrong.
it was for the day, I missed it regardless because
Hmm.
again, I wanted to watch, but I was looking for it and I was like, oh.
But like it made me think about like going back to awards shows, like how how it used to be exciting and like you had to watch the VMAs. Like you, if you didn't, like you missed it,
But here's the
right?
thing that was also in the age of TRL,
Well, yeah, yeah,
right? You
yeah.
when do you see mute like MTV stands for music
Right, music
television?
television.
When do you see music on MTV anymore? You see it
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. You see it on all these alternative things. You
Yeah,
don't see unless you're I think there's like a time super early in the morning, like that maybe 3 to 6 a.m. or 3 to 7 a.m., where maybe you might see, and I'm saying might because it's
I
not
don't
even
even think
guaranteed.
so.
You can't like it's so hard to say get excited for the MTV Music Awards when there's
Mm-hmm.
no videos on MTV any long.
Yeah,
We were excited during those TRL days
yeah.
when, and I want and this year they actually uh broadcasted it on CBS, which they normally it was like on all of the Viacom stations, right? It was
Right.
on BET, MTV, VH1, like anything that was Viacom.
Mm-hmm.
That's technically is under Paramount. I don't know.
Yeah, it was, yeah, it's under
Yeah.
Paramount now, but
So, but like, so you were excited to see,
mm-hmm.
like, I remember when, Living La Vida Loca came. I mean, I could say a lot more, but I just remember it was like the year of the Latino,
Right, the
right?
Latin
And
explosion.
yeah, the Latin explosion. And he comes out and he's just go. Ricky Martin performed. I know Mariah Carey got the Video Vanguard Award. Like I
Mm-hmm.
probably like it felt like okay, it was I probably could have watched it, but I just wasn't excited about
No,
it. And
no.
like you said, you got to see these things on social media and it's
That was
just
enough for
so
me.
hard. It's
That
so
was
hard.
that was enough for me. And I don't know, yeah, like I was just thinking about it. Like we used to get so excited, but like that whole thing with Bad Bunny on Saturday, that's kind of what made me think about it because I was like, oh, it was so exciting. Like I wasn't in the moment, so like I missed it, right? And
Yeah.
like that's how it used to be. Like that's how it used to feel, like for the VMAs, for even for the Oscars, for the Emmys, for any award show. Like
Yes.
you had to watch it because if not, like
Yeah.
you just missed it. But now it's so different and it's so weird. But I did want to mention like the VMAs because so Ricky Martin won. What was it? They gave him like the Latin Artists
Yeah, it's the
Award.
first year I think of this award.
Yeah, which again, I was just not nothing against Ricky Martin, just in general. I was just like, why? Why are we? Is this award necessary? Is it weird? Am I reading too much into it? Like,
I think maybe I need to watch it to have a true
mm-hmm,
opinion on it. I did watch the Emmys, and guess who
mm-hmm.
watched with me?
Antonio.
Antonio watched them with me. Okay,
Okay.
so first of all, when we first initially started, I was watching like the red carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, you can watch this with me." And he's like, "I don't want to watch this," and I said, "Okay, well, we'll wait until the actual show." And he looked at me with that like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, this isn't even leading up to the damn show. This is just what they're wearing. And I started laughing. So then we watched it. And he actually got into it because he was like,
Mhm.
ooh, what's that show? Like the music ones, half the time both of us have also become with the music ones, like, who are these people?
Well,
And
yeah,
I
that too.
do
That
still,
too.
here's the thing. I do still listen to traditional radio as well because I want to hear the new stuff that comes out.
Mhm.
New music to me just does not hit the same as,
No,
and there's
no.
no, like, my one of my favorite genres of music is R&B. I love R&B music.
Mhm.
I had an ex-boyfriend who used to say that anytime Mary J. Blige would come on, he'd be like, "Oh, there's your homegirl. She on right now." Like, but R&B, like, it has died down so much, and I'm starting to find some more R&B artists on TikTok. So
Mhm.
I'm following them and everything, but like R&B. I love, girl. Anytime those things come on saying like how like like when it's like how black are you? You're not depending on how many songs. I always know all the songs.
Oh. All
I
10
always stay because I'm like I'm gonna
1990s
know these
R&B
songs.
songs.
No, I love like, and there's just not much of that soulful R&B music anymore.
Mhm.
Like there used to be, at least not played on traditional radio. But half the time, but when it comes to TV shows, those are things that we can still like find.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't hear of this TV show. We got to, like, even Antonio was getting all into it. Wow, they've won a lot of awards. Maybe we should watch that show. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I feel like it was really different. He was okay watching that. He does not like watching the music ones with me
Mhm.
because the music ones, he's like, I don't know who, and that's how I feel half the time watching the music ones now, anyways.
Yeah, so do I.
So speaking of music, the Coachella 2026 lineup was announced, and
Yeah.
apparently you can only go on a waiting list now because all the tickets have sold out.
What? Already?
Yes.
That's
And this is in
crazy.
April of 2026.
That is
So
crazy.
Friday, April 10th and 17th, Sabrina Carpenter is the headliner. And let me tell you, I'm reading this whole thing and I'm like,
Sabrina
who do I
Carpenter,
know?
really?
Sabrina Carpenter. I have no idea who half of these people are. I know Teddy Swims. I know Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye was in that Gap commercial,
Mhm.
that beautiful,
Mhm.
perfect response to the whole Sydney
Yeah,
Sweeney
yeah.
American Eagle thing. Devo. I was like, Devo? Like Whip It?
Devo,
Devo?
DVO, Devo.
Devo is gonna be there. And if those who don't know Diva, Whip It Good. Like that song. Great. Moby. There's so many people.
Moby's still
Moby's
around?
gonna, yes, but there's so many people. Like most of the people I don't know. Everything else I don't know. But okay, and then on Sunday, the 12th and the 19th, Karol G is the headliner.
Yep.
Young Thug.
She's the first, isn't she the first Latina headliner? That's what I've been reading.
Uh I don't know. Was Becky G a headliner or
I don't think
no?
she was a headliner.
Because I know she's been there.
Because I've been reading that Carol G's the first Latina
Maybe. Okay,
headliner.
I'm looking at Karol G's and like all these people. I'm looking to see if I see anybody else that I know besides Young Thug, Iggy Pop. I know Iggy Pop, FKA Twigs. I don't really know her music, but I know who she
Iggy
is.
Pop, really?
Yes, isn't that random? Iggy Pop, and then okay, now on the Saturday headliner, the 11th and 18th, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber's back? I'm
Apparently,
scared.
okay, and then the Strokes, Javon. I know Javon Addison Ray. I don't know her music, but I know who she is. I'm trying to see
Mm-hmm.
if there's anybody else that I see that I really know. Not really, but okay, that surprised me because he's had a lot of difficulties of recent,
Yeah.
right? I hope he's okay. to
I'm scared for
perform.
the Beebs.
Yes. I'm not a believer either. Like he's young, he's a kid to me. So, but I'm like, I saw that and I wasn't excited for him. I was were concerned for him.
Right, right. Yeah, I hope he's okay. I feel like poor Justin.
I know.
Like,
I know. But that's, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I
mm-hmm,
hope he's okay. I hope he's healthy or getting himself healthy. I hope all of like it's just crazy. And you
mm-hmm.
know, there was so much to get through because we were obviously took summer hiatus. So
Yes.
I know that there's probably a lot of things that we didn't get to that happened over this summer. So for that, I apologize. We just obviously, for time's sake, we cannot get into everything, and some things get us more heated than others. Some topics get us
Well, we
more
ended
heated
on a
than
light
others.
note with the mission accomplished. We
Yeah,
started
that was the
happy and then
point. Yeah, I didn't want to end on like the heavy stuff. I wanted to end on the light stuff. Now, oh my gosh, because I know you guys have heard the ads within the podcast itself, but one of the things that we added, look, we know we were talking about some things that were going to happen over the summer. We postponed them because I want to be truly intentional about that, about what gets about what we're not just sharing, but how things are launched. So Erica and I are still working on them. We are still like, Erica, what would you want to say? Like, just continue. We'll continue to tease you about what's happened, but or what we're going to do. But what would you say a good tease for that is?
a good tease.
A good
Ooh.
tease.
Oh man, I'm trying to think
As I'm like doing that
without
thing with my
giving too
eyelid,
much
my
away.
eyebrows. Uh-huh. Good
You're just
tease.
gonna have to wait and see. You have to stick with us. Like you have to stick with us because the payoff is gonna be worthwhile.
It is. I'm honestly super excited. I cannot wait when I share a little bit of what's happening with people that I trust to help. Um
I can give a little tidbit. It just came to me.
okay.
It's
Okay.
wine related.
Oh, shocking. It's wine related.
Ah, wine related, ladies and gents.
And we're also working on a new, I will say this, we are working on a new pitch deck. So if you're a small brand looking, whether you're small, medium, large brand, we're going to have options for you to be able to advertise and on the podcast. So just so you know, that is something that will be happening and we're really excited about it.
A lot of ways to incorporate into the community and
Absolutely, a
grow
lot
with.
of ways. So mi gente, we're so excited. I'm sure you heard on at the top of the podcast, we want to hear from you. We have a number that you can share, whether you want to share you liked an episode, you didn't. I'm okay if you didn't like an episode. Tell me what you didn't like. If you have questions, if you know, like I'm gonna try, if you know that we do these end of month Chisme episodes, this is where we're gonna share it. This is where we're gonna air it. If you have questions, if you have comments, you have
Build the cheese man.
like drop us a comment, question. If you have a wine question, we'll be more than like we'll totally add that as well. That number is going to be 858-304-0266. Again, it's 858-304-0266. Please call us. Please share your thoughts with us. Please share if you're like, Jessica, I saw it on video. What were you doing with your face? Like, that's fine too. Like, I don't care. We just,
Don't be afraid of the phone.
yes, it's and if you wanted to just read it and not share the voicemail, you could do that too. You could be like, hey, I just wanted to say this. Please don't play this. Just we'll read it. We'll read the comment. That's not a big deal. That's totally fine. But we want to because we want to be more connected with you as we continue to grow, as we continue and that's the only way that I can make sure that you guys are getting what you want to hear from this podcast. You can certainly DM me on Instagram or on TikTok. We're at the Wine and Chisme. You can certainly send an email, which is hola at the wine and chisme podcast.com. But we want to make sure that your voice is being heard, because this is, yes, I am the host of the Wine and Chisme podcast, but this is a podcast for all of us, and I want to make sure that your voices are heard too. So, anything else, Erika?
I think that's it. I
We
don't
did
know.
it. We got through our first Chisme of season 6.
I mean, I think we talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, there were a few things that we were going to mention, but we went through a lot.
Hey, I actually no, I checked everything off. Everything that we had, I checked off.
Okay.
So, well, until next time, mi gente, and if you have some suggestions for October, make sure you send it over.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine and Chisme Podcast. If you would like to hear more wine and more chisme, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Saludos.